Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moncton Raceway here in Moncton, Canada, up in New Brunswick here for the next race of the ARCSOA Elite Series. We're going to take a look at the playoff standings coming up here because we're approaching that playoff cutoff, which is round 24, and then rounds 25 through 35 will be, we're coming up to the playoff cutoff, and then the final 10 races will be a playoff showdown in which drivers and teams, in which the top 16 will duke it out for the championship crown here. So we have every winner so far this year, so from Sean Perkins to Dylan Speeds, Vince Freeze, Cody Lamas won a race there. Bobby Jones is in the playoffs, down to Lawrence Zabka and Julius Kostra, who has not even qualified for a race since his win, are all currently in the championship hunt now, with only a few cars to go. Drivers like Noah Hart, which we will skip over to right now as we speak, has a win, or doesn't have a win, but is leading the points. He is because of that, there is a 17th car provision in which a 17th car can be added is if the overall winner of the championship of the regular season does not get into the playoffs as well. So that is something that Noah Hart has to look forward to. All he has to do is win the regular season, but he'll have no bonus points coming in. Although regular season champion does get bonus points, I apologize. The remaining drivers that, let's say if we only get like 13 different winners in the first 24-something races, then the remaining spots will be determined by driver points up to that point. So let's say 13 get in, 14, 15, and 16 will be filled by the next three highest driver points positions. With that being said, let's take a look at your starting grid. And Vince Freeze is starting last on the grid, and he has not qualified very well at all this week. He was 2 seconds off the pace with a tire going down, entering coming out in between turn 3 and 4 here at one of the smallest tracks on the schedule. So he only lost 2 seconds. He was on a really quick time there. Chester Lester Wester in the 79 car also up there as well. Zolt Dormitory and Austin Sanders with Evan Byrne and Sevar Ilkin. Carol Abbott and Ryan Matthews are on the grid there, along with Ryan Griffin and Ethan Kiterman. Sean Ard and Aiden Shepard with, this would be Joe Coleman, and this is Stratan up here. Great to see Stratan on the grid there. This is Quinn Kelly, along with Mika Miyazaki, Lou Granner, and Noah Hart. This is going to be Zayden Davidson and Bethany Woodard, who is a playoff driver. Ethan Moore and Caitlin Tannerhill. Jameson Moore, no relation to Ethan Moore. And this is Jean Flaubert. Lawrence Zabka, who just recently locked himself into the playoffs, alongside Rich Roy. Of course, Granner is filling in for Anselmi, who is a playoff driver. That would be Tim Morse and Takumi Hirano, Tyler Thaber, and Zachary Fitzwater, Sean Perkins, who is a playoff driver, and Eric Monaco, Carter Fitzgerald, Dylan Speeds, who has 3 wins already on the season. This is Ingrid Hadeland, I couldn't think of that for a second, and Pip Longstockings, Nick Pericles, and Anthony Griffith. Gretchen Faust, Cody Lamas, who's in the playoffs, Joshua Michaels, and Greg Woodard round out the front row on the grid. And the green flag is out here at Moncton. Woodard gets a great start here. We're going to see if Michaels can get the outside to behave. Doesn't look like it, and we are green flag. It's a very one-groove track here at Moncton. Kind of a smaller version of the Middle Georgia track I think we saw earlier this year. And Woodard has opened up a humongous lead. Flaubert having issues. The Peugeot team has been hopelessly bad since they came on the grid here. But we are off here, and oh my goodness, look at Vince Freeze already up a number of spots since the start of that race. And I'm interested to see how quickly Vince Freeze can claw his way up the order. Flaubert has rejoined the race kind of in the middle of the pack here. That could have been bad, but as you can see, the beating and banging is very participate a bit more in this race than what would normally be the case. Anthony Griffith and Gretchen Faust have worked their way up into the top top three there. Pip Longstocking also doing a really good job over Dylan Speeds there. To keep going, but Greg Woodard's got a massive lead right off the start here. It's lap 7 of 150, and we're already starting to see some cars that might be in danger going a lap down. Ryan Griffin not doing well at all, and he's currently fighting for a wild card entry into the playoffs. And by lap 12, Greg Woodard has already worked his way up to the rear of the lead lap cars here, so it's all coming down to how you can maneuver lead lap traffic now, or lap traffic. And that's going to be the key to this race here, is just getting through all the traffic here, because this is a very one-groove track. And now, even though Woodard got a big start here, I think Faust and Griffith are going to start catching it. Important for the wild card position, Ryan Griffin has now fallen back down a lap here. Probably not a great place to be if you're Ryan Griffin, simply because, hey, you want to be on fighting for points here. There's Tim Morse actually up there, not doing very well. He's a late arrival to the series, but interested to see how Morse is going to play this off here. Woodard gets into Morse and gets forced to the high line. This isn't going to be good for Woodard, because that's going to give Faust the inside line, especially if Griffin can shut the door on him. Doesn't look like it, though. Woodard gets down in front of him there. Very smart move. Woodard slides to the high line here, and here comes, who is a lap down, Tyler Faber, another wild card driver, not doing very well today. Been lapped, but he went to the high line there, and I thought really Faust was going to get by him for the lead. Where's third place driver? The third place driver is Anthony Griffith. Way down there, just trying to hold on there. Dylan Speeds and Pip Longstocking fighting for fourth. Just, you're gonna have to get through the traffic pretty easy now, because this is going to be a race full of traffic there. Oh, Woodard once again trying to highline, but Woodard's got a heck of a car just in general. And, well, Faust is being held up by Faber there, and that's gonna really, hurt any chance of Faust getting up there. Meanwhile, in 25 laps, Vince Freeze has clawed his way from last to 23rd on the grid here. This is what it's going to come down to for Vince Freeze here, is you just got to get through the traffic here. And Freeze, even though he's probably, once we start the playoffs, will be in the lead of the points. Once that takes place, there will be a big showdown there for drivers to try and get through this entire pack here. And he's going to need as many points as he can get, just because of possible bonus point payoff there. Gotta give credit where credit's due to Ryan Matthews here. Ryan Matthews is the third fastest car on the track right now, outside of Woodard and Faust, and he has been murdering through this field at a very high rate of speed here. Even faster than Vince Freeze there. Got a little bit in front, though. Freeze is closing in on him. But Ryan Matthews really looking strong here. I'd be very interested to see where he plays out as this race keeps going, because Ryan Matthews is looking very competent speed-wise here. And if he can keep this up, at the end of the race, he can get a top 10 out of this. However, both drivers are under threat by Greg Woodard's massive pace advantage here. Just kind of chugging through the field. I mean, Greg Woodard's about to lap Vince Freeze here, because Freeze has been held up in traffic, and Woodard has been on a mission since the start of this race. We're already 40 laps into it, and we're only 16 minutes into the race and still haven't seen a caution. So Greg Woodard, just epic performance so far today. And Ryan Matthews' crew at the same time was told to get the move on it, because, Woodard's closing in, and you don't want to be caught a lap down with Woodard, because Ryan Matthews, believe it or not, that team, despite being quite quick all year, the luck and race pace hasn't been there, and therefore they have not gotten a win yet this year. And so I'd be very concerned for them, because right about now, the only way you're getting in is with a win. Oh, we got Dormitory into the fence there. That's the first car we've seen all day get into the fence on lap 48 there. So we are starting to see the tires start to fall off here, but Moncton is a fairly new pavement track. which is why it's probably so one lane right now. Keep in mind, that's just the lead between Gretchen Faust in second and Greg Woodard is almost 3 seconds, so Woodard's actually getting into some clean air. So just keep that in mind as we keep going here. It's not looking good for everybody who's trying to chase down Woodard. Woodard now is lapped up to 23rd on the grid right now, and really I think everybody's hoping for a yellow pretty soon, because if this race goes caution-free, that's going to be a shock to the system, because nobody was expecting that. But we'll see how this plays out going forward, but I don't know, really. This is going to be a tough one, I think, for these drivers, because once pit stop starts cycling through, it's going to get very interesting, especially with the way the pit road is kind of built around here. On a short track, it's quite impressive when a driver gets a big lead, but almost 9 seconds, almost 6 seconds on Gretchen Faust there is very, very impressive. Actually, because of the two-wide racing, Faust is actually closing in a little bit here, but sometimes it's just very impressive to see a dominating race. This is what has been the case so far here. Faust has actually done pretty well holding off now second place driver Dylan Speeds there, but hasn't really gotten by Tyler Faber. Anthony Griffith has fallen back to fourth, is trying to hold off Pip Longstocking and Cody Lamas there as well. So here we go. It's just going to be Ken Woodard keep this up, because he is starting to lose some ground. We have our first driver pitting. This is this a scheduled stop, or is this a non-scheduled stop? Oh, it is a tire issue on Sol Dormitory's car. I thought this was a scheduled pit stop, but it was not. Of course, pit exit here is a quite difficult one here, but luckily there isn't a lot of cars around Dormitory when Dormitory comes out of the pits, so lucky for him, they get to keep going. And oh boy, Woodard is all over the back end kind of this hornet's nest here with Noah Hart, Adrian Shepard, Ryan Matthews there. Again, it's just going to be a real hard-fought battle, because we're halfway done and we're not even 30 minutes into this race. We're approaching halfway. So, just absolute domination as Noah Hart, the regular points leader, just goes a lap down there. However, Faust is dramatically closing in now, or was. Now is on the outside there, but as Woodard is really struggling there. Let's take a look here. Still no change on the fastest lapometer there. And right there's one of the other fastest cars out there. If Ryan Matthews would get some clean air, I think Matthews would be a driver to watch there. Perkins in the playoffs. Ooh, Fitzgerald, I think, got into the wall there. Zabka also in the field as well as we go through the running order at this stage. You can see on the map, look for your favorite number there. And here we go. That's just kind of the way this race has been. As it hasn't been the most interesting, as Matthews finally goes a lap down at the halfway mark. But again, only top 25 get points, so just take a look at that. You've got Matthews, Michaels, Byrne, 51 car, 22 of Granner, 22 cars, 007, the 87. And you see Woodard is lapped all the way up to 15th position. And it's just going to be, how can Woodard survive this race? Keep going. I mean, again, there's not a lot of real things Woodard can do there's not a lot of other things that Woodard can do to enhance his lead. I mean, he's doing the best he possibly can, and he's growing a lead on a short track by getting through traffic really easily. There goes the 77 into the wall there. That was Dormitory once again. Oh, Fitzwater on pit road. I'm guessing this might be scheduled, or maybe not. Oh, yes, that is a scheduled stop for Fitzwater. So Fitzwater, first car to schedulally pit his car. So here we go. No other cars have bid on pit road, so Fitzwater's taking a very aggressive strategy and coming in early. And short pitting here. Could be a good payoff here. Here comes Fitzwater out of the pits now. There's Dormitory going by there. Noah Hart's going to get held up. He's, of course, a lap down there. But again, you just got to play your cards right here, and that's just short track racing. Bethany Woodard on pit road now. So we're starting to see some of the pit stop shenanigans begin, as we kind of wish to. Here comes Bethany Woodard out of the pits, and that's a very nice, easy merge there for Woodard there, although 3 wide can be a little scary around this track, considering how tight it is up here. Just gotta keep your... Oh, and that's actually third place driver Gretchen Faust at second place, fourth place now, actually, because Dylan Speeds now has cleared Faust. And now Longstocking, and actually Lamas is up into third, so Faust is falling back quite clearly here, and that's not what you want to see happen here. Meanwhile, at the Woodard Reign of Terror is continuing here. That's 11th place car, Sean Perkins there. The Woodard Reign of Terror doing the best he possibly can, but oh, there goes Abbott now, and now he's going to be struggling on the outside there. We've seen, though, he's one of the only cars that can get the outside to work here with lap traffic. Some of these drivers might get back on the lead lap here. And there has not been a lead change all race here. I think it's been quite some time since a driver has led from start to finish, but we're looking at a race where that could possibly happen. Now finally Woodard does get to the inside lane, but not before Pericles and Matthews could get their laps back. Zayden Davidson would get into the marbles here and get into the wall coming out of turn number 2, and he would actually bring it down pit road a little earlier than I think he would have wanted to get some of that damage space fixed, because there is a tire rub on the 84 car. Carter Fitzgerald's the first lead lap car to bring it down pit road, so this could get interesting, even though she basically was a lap down. She did get into the wall as well here. But again, you're going to just have to bear with everybody here and just kind of grit your teeth and bear it, because it's just the way that racing around Moncton's going to be. It's going to be traffic filled. If you get into the marbles, you're doomed. Second placeman Dylan Speeds is still caught in traffic and is losing time to Woodard now. Almost 4.5 seconds total there. Actually, it's gone down a little bit because Woodard's in traffic, apparently. Woodard just got by some pretty heavy lap traffic here with Carol Abbott. But they're really kind of slow in front of Greg Woodard here as he approaches the lap 100 mark. He's going to complete 100 this time. And again, I'm kind of surprised this hasn't been a crash fest, really. I mean, everybody's been minding their P's. There's Zabka, the 24 car. He will be going a lap down here. And Zabka, so now Woodard is lapped into the top 10. So Woodard is just motoring around this track at a rate I have not seen in some time. There's Anthony Griffith, who was fighting in the top 5 earlier, now going a lap down as well in 9th. So Woodard just hasn't, Griffith has not been able to get to the inside. Now Woodard has now decided that it would be a good time to lap Ryan Griffin again. More issues for Carter Fitzgerald, so Fitzgerald struggling once again with bad luck in the top 10. This is going to be a great day for Matthews Motorsports. And now Fitzgerald down pit road for a second time, trying to get some damage repaired on that car. So now there's actually a big gap for Pip Longstocking in 4th to try and close into the back of Lamas there in 3rd. But it's just going to be... because this is now the time for Longstocking to get going. Caitlin Tannerhill is the next car for Woodard to lap here in 7th position here. Tannerhill, again, just trying everything she can to stay on the lead lap. And it does look like that's the case, especially if Jamison Moore, another lap car, gets to the inside of her. Let's take a look down the order here. We got a couple of cars out. That's Strachan and the 41 of Monaco blew up. Also, you've got 60 of Fitzgerald, 6 laps down, 5 laps for Dormitory, 4 for Michaels, 4 for Fitzwater. Those are the cars that have pitted so far. 3 for the 84 Davidson, 3 for Bethany Woodard, 2 for Flaubert. And then you just see that drivers are just going to have to struggle here. Now, there's where Tanner Hill's going to go a lap down. Maybe not, because Woodard kind of let her off easy there. Woodard still has not pitted yet, keep in mind, but with the way that Woodard's been on a tear, basically everyone still needs to pit as well. Oh, there's Faber coming in. Tyler Faber having a pretty disappointing weekend, down in 28th position. Really not what we were expecting from Faber this week. That's the top performing team on the team chart, or one of them at least. Next up is Tim Morse coming down pit road. So pit stop strategies are all over the place at this stage, but just got to be real careful about these things going forward, because that's going to be again, a very difficult thing for drivers to get their hands on going forward. Oh, we got a yellow flag out! Oh, what has happened to bring the yellow out? Caution was brought out by Aiden Shepard getting into the wall here, and you're going to see Shepard's going to try and get to the pit road there, and gets into the side of Cody Lomas, and around goes Shepard here, and this is going to make very interesting work here, because only 6 cars are on the lead lap. So now everybody's pitted now, and actually the lead lap cars are nowhere to be found, the remaining ones. Well, some of them aren't. 6 cars also fall out of Joshua Michaels there. No clue on where Hirano is. I'm guessing Hirano's somewhere in the back here. Woodard's going to lead the field back to the green. So at this stage, Woodard is going for the first clean sweep of a race in years in ARCSOA, where somebody has not even challenged the leader. Matthews is fighting Woodard, though, because Matthews is about as fast as Woodard. Of course, Matthews is the first car 1 lap down. And this is interesting, to say the least, because Matthews, a quick yellow here, and Matthews has a shot. And actually, that's what's maybe going to happen here. Matthews is back on the lead lap now. But see, none of the lead lap cars have been able to get to the inside, so that's what we're kind of dealing with at this stage. The 48 has gotten the inside, as is Woodard, so it looks like Lamas is going to get speeds here. What? Something up with Woodard there? I saw something a bit interesting going on with the Woodard car, but there's not an issue with Woodard's car there, but now you've got a battle for second between Lamas and Speeds. It has been over 15 years since ARCSOA has had a clean sweep, and Woodard is on his way to trying getting one. However, Woodard would get into the marbles and get into the wall here, so I don't know, is that going to be a problem for Woodard? Flaubert, I think he ought to just let Flaubert by at this stage, because Flaubert is now a driver that he's going to have to be very careful of, because now Woodard has got issues. Got another car on the wall in the back. I think that's Noah Hart. No, that's Aiden Shepard, car that caused the only caution so far in this race. Meanwhile, Lamas now has cleared the majority of the lap traffic. Only Pericles and Flaubert stand in the way. Matthews is faster right now than Woodard, I believe, at this stage. And that's very impressive now, because Matthews is looking really good, to say the least. Even though Ryan Matthews is on the tail end of the lead lap, that just shows kind of where everything is. Oh, we had a car get into the wall there. They are catching lap traffic, Ryan Matthews. Oh, it must have been Quinn Kelly that got into the fence, because Kelly's got a lot of rear end damage. Oh, but before we get anything, Hadeland has gotten into Dormitory, and around goes Dormitory. Into the fence he goes. And that's another yellow flag here coming towards the end of this race. And oh dear, here we go. This is going to be very interesting. Oh, and now we got Flaubert blowing up, so Flaubert not doing well either there. Oh, we got a car breaking down, it looks like. Somebody, or some kind of calamity's going on there. So with about 11 to go here, Woodard is going to have a clean run because Quinn Kelly, who had some caution damage from a couple cautions ago, is going to start on the inside here. Here comes Hirano and Matthews to catch up there. Those are the last two cars on the lead lap. Matthews did get his lap back. The only car that I think is fast enough to challenge Woodard here. And if Woodard makes it 11 more laps, he has the first clean sweep in like 8 years, where no other car has taken a lap win here. Oh, great move there possibly by Dylan Speeds to get to the inside, especially if Quinn Kelly can hold off Woodard. It looks like that's going to possibly be the case, but Woodard sails it around the outside, possibly. No, he doesn't. He has to back way off. Quinn Kelly is going to get to the inside of him there, and Speeds now is getting the inside to work. It might not be a clean sweep here if Speeds could get this inside to stick. Speeds has been the dominant car race win-wise all season, but hasn't had the consistency yet. But he's going to the high line. Not sure of the thinking process here with that going to the high line here. Dylan Speeds now fighting back on the inside. And Woodard, I think, is going to get to the inside. Yes, he does, because Pericles just wouldn't get going there. So Dylan Speeds had a shot there, but Pericles just was not very strong there. Oh, what is going on with Ilkin here? Ilkin very, very slow. Thought it was Stratan, but then I'm like, hey, wait, Stratan's out of the race. Woodard is 7 laps away, now 6 laps away from a clean sweep of this weekend. A perfect race, pole and win. Ooh, very loose off the corner there for Woodard there. Woodard does not want to catch that car there, but then I think Pericles just gave him the bump and run. Woodard is playing games with these lap cars, and that's not what Pericles likes. But, again, I'm not seeing Speeds able to do a whole lot. Abbott down pit road now. Matthews has gotten by Pip Longstocking further back. And Woodard has caught Ilkin here. And Ilkin is being a bit of a roadblock, but there's a number of lap cars in between Woodard and Speeds there. And as long as Pericles doesn't do anything too stupid here, Woodard should have this win. Coming with 2 to go. This is it. I think 2 laps to go here, and we are starting to see some of that action picking up here as Woodard is massively being held up by Ilkin. Of course, Ethan Moore is a lap down. Has 2 wins on the season in the playoffs, but white flag for Greg Woodard. He is 1 lap away from a perfect clean sweep, a perfect weekend here, leading every lap of the race. Woodard goes to the inside. He makes the move on Ilkin, and Greg Woodard leads all 150 laps here and wins this race here at Moncton. Congratulations to Greg Woodard. I don't think anybody could have done anything like that. I really don't. Greg Woodard leads all 150 laps. Dylan Speed second. Cody Lamas third. Takumi Hirano jumps up to 4th. Faust down to 5th. Matthews up to 6th. Longstocking to 7th. Moore to 8th. Pericles to 9th. Tanner Hill to 10th. Zabka to 11th. Granter to 12th. 13th to Hart. 14th to Roy. 15th to Ard. 16th to Freeze. 17th to Perkins. 18th to Sanders. 19th to Jameson. Moore. 20th to Hadeland. 21st to Byrne. 22nd to Kiterman. 23rd to Ilkin. 24th to Kelly. And 25th to Griffin. Coleman. Lester Wester. Bethany Woodard. Davidson. Shepard. Fitzwater. Morse. Abbott. Fitzgerald. Miyazaki. Griffith. Saber. Flaubert. Dormitory. Michaels, Stratan, and Monaco will all not finish the race in what was one of the fastest ARCSOA Elite Series races we've we've seen in quite some time, finishing at about 50 minutes. Let's take a look at your points leaving Moncton. Here are the overall driver standings leaving Moncton. So Noah Hart extends his point lead to almost 90 points, but he still does not have a victory to his name yet. Next week at Waterbury Park might change that, but again, the number of bonus points that he'd get coming out of this race would be quite massive, I believe. Going into the playoffs, that looks like it'd be 70 bonus points. And keep in mind, it's 10 for every win, provided, because what they do is they just take off the last number there. So let's say it's 708, it'd be 70 bonus points he'd get just for that. So it's just lop off the last number is how many bonus points you get. And there's no rounding either, so you have to make the next bracket. So it would be 62 for Lamas, 61 for Freeze, and then 600 straight for Tyler Thaber overall points. But keep in mind that's not including bonus points. Faust, Woodard, Speeds, Woodard, Abbott, Pericles, Moore, Griffin, Ard, Curtis, Kelvin, Hirano, Jones, Matthews, Monaco, Shepard, Longstocking, Davidson, Griffith, Perkins, Sanders, Roy, Hadeland, Anselmi, Tannerhill, Pliskin, Brock, Kiterman, Fitzgerald, Kostra, Vershagen, Michaels, Fitzwater, Myatt, Holiday, Bouchard, Zabka, Ilkin, Thompson, Oskin, Elliott, Dormitory, Berkman, Jameson, Moore, Miyazaki, Lester, Wester, Dry, Granner, Turner, Stratan, Tauger, Silverspoon, Rowe, Quinn, Kelly, Colin Wolfe, Byrne, Randolph, Coleman, Morse, and then Lothair, Venum, Dame Bradley have 0 points there. But it will be interesting to see how these drivers play out. Of course, DJ Curtis didn't qualify this weekend, so that was not a very good thing for him this weekend. But we will see coming forward, because now you're in bonus points territory, and we'll take a look to see who would be in the playoffs at this stage. So in this scenario, we'd actually have a 17-player playoff, because Noah Hart is the regular season champion and doesn't have a win. That would open up the mythical 17th spot. Because if there is if there's a situation where the regular season champ doesn't get in, or doesn't get a win, then he automatically gets into the championship. That would open up 4 provisional spots as well. So on the board right now, you will see Sean Perkins, because he won a double points race at Road Atlanta. He has 20 bonus points. Dylan Speeds has 30 for his 3 wins. Gretchen Faust won Daytona. Freeze won 3 races. Beth Woodard has won 2 races. Ethan Moore 2. Now Greg Woodard has 2. Iapo Anselmi, I messed that up. That should be Anselmi. I'll get to that in a few minutes. Is on 10 points. He is on injury leave, hopefully until, we're thinking until the playoffs start. He'll be on injury leave. Cody Lamas is on 10 points for his 1 win. However, he is flirting with that regular season champion, which would then bump Griffin out, because Noah Hart would go into Provisional 1, let's say. Bobby Jones, with his 1 win at Willow Springs. Julius Costa, the American 700 champion, hasn't qualified for another race since. And Lawrence Zabka, winner of Sawmill, last week's race at Sawmill, ends up getting in there. And because of that, the next 4 cars are Thaber, Abbott, Pericles, and Griffin are the next 4 cars in points. However, that could change once we get to Waterbury Park, once we get to the remaining races coming up, the Indianapolis threesome and the 2 races in between. Those 3 races will be very interesting going forward, because there isn't a lot going. I mean, there's always a chance that those 4 provisional spots could fill with 4 new driver victories. And we obviously, that would make things very interesting, because right now we just have 4 drivers right now at the top of the board, and things could get very, very interesting once we get into eliminations time. Again, going to be very difficult to go forward here in this championship, I believe. you're going to have to play this very, very smart for once we get into the playoff season. So, for the remaining bit here, it is still going to be determined by constructors' standings, but then there will also be another thing put in place once the playoffs begin about how it's going to, how other cars will be locked in. Like, I believe all the playoff drivers will be locked in after that, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. Teams that are locked in, so Dominion and Caraway, Lycoya, TRD, Marlone, Ferrari, Silver Speed, Tesla, Hadeland Sport, Bradley Automotive, and Nissan are all in, with Team Thunder falling out. So there was a big change there between Hadeland Sport and Team Thunder. Also, I think Bradley was in as well. There, we didn't see any of the Bradley cars, I don't believe, in this race. I think there was a little bit of a snafu with them, but it didn't affect them anyway that much. So, down the order they go. As you keep going here, really Ford Performance and Team Thunder are right on the cusp there of going in, and then Roy Inc.'s quite a ways down. But remember, they might get somebody locked in via their driver standings there. That being said, let's head on out to Waterbury Park, USA in Connecticut for the next round of the ARCSOA Elite Series Championship.